Selling your home and home inspections. What all does that mean to a seller? Well, I'm going to tell you what it means. This is Brian Kapple with the Athens Real Estate Company. Our brokerage is located on West Union Street in Athens, Ohio. Rapp is our broker. I'm going to be sharing yet another article from houselogic.com provided to consumers by the National Association of Realtors. You can just go to that houselogic.com if you want. As you can see, they've got some buy and sell tips, home improvement tips, money management. You can also sign up for a newsletter, which I've done that. You get some cool stuff on that. So anyway, let's talk about Seller's Guide to Navigating the Home Inspection Process. All right, this is to the point now where we've already taken the listing, we've already put it on the MLS, and we have accepted an offer to purchase. Okay, so once we've accepted that offer, your home's going to get a once-over from the buyer's home inspector. The inspection is usually a contingency of the offer, meaning the buyer can back out based on serious problems discovered. I've had that happen on both sides of a deal. The lender also expects an inspection to make sure it's making a good investment. That makes sense, correct? That's the same reason the buyer is doing a home inspection report. So just really quick though, when I take a listing, I always ask the seller clients, and I do this also based upon my inspection of the home. And, you know, when I give them the CMA and everything else, there are three loan products. There's a VA loan, FHA, and USDA loan that all have strict appraisal processes. So in those appraisals, that appraiser per se is acting also as a home inspector in a way. They have checklists that they have to go through as they're doing the appraisal. And let's say, for instance, there's 2 or 3 steps, and no handrail. More than likely, they're going to flag that. Say, okay, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller, you have to put a handrail on that. All right. So when I take listings, I always tell the seller clients this aspect of it, so that way there are no hidden surprises, you know, whenever we get knee deep into the weeds with this. All right. So obviously we know when the home inspection is going on, they're going to examine the property for any flaws. Based on the report, the buyer is going to give you or give us a list of repair requests. Okay. So how that works is they send it to me. I'll send you the issues. By contract, I am able to ask the buyer's agent for any pages of the inspection report where they are either yellow or red flagging something that's wrong with the house, because I want to see, and I want you to be able to visualize, you know, what's going on here. And also it vets any requests that may not be too big of a thing, right? I mean, we want to see it, to vet it, to make sure it's good. So we're going to help you negotiate those requests. We're going to talk about some different ways and how that works. So, you know, if you want to have a faster process for closing, and it's a conventional or cash loan, we can try to negotiate possibly a lower asking price or offering price, something that would be perhaps commensurate with the dollar amount of labor and materials to make any repairs. I've done that before. So one thing that we need to talk about is that these inspections are not necessarily a big deal. I'm going to help you with advising you about the repairs that we need to make before the inspection. I will do a walk through the house, right? I have to. That's going to help me come up with this pricing strategy. And as I'm coming through the house, I will see perhaps if it is missing a handrail, or if there's missing some the proper outlets in kitchens or bathrooms, or if the roof looks old, the siding looks bad, peeling paint is another big flag. Well, for home inspections in general, but also of those 3 different loan products that I've mentioned a little bit ago. Sometimes before we put it on the market, I will recommend that a seller go ahead and do their own home inspection. The cost is minimal. And what that does, it's going to give you an idea maybe ahead of time of what some of the yellow flags or unfortunately the red flags may be, and gives you an opportunity to make repairs before that comes in, and then I can take that home inspection report and also the list of any repairs that the seller opted to make, and I can put that into the MLS packet, which it makes any listing extremely appealing to buyers, especially when they know that, wow, this seller is definitely invested in their property. They've taken care of it. There's no deferred maintenance, and they're even ahead of the game and already hired a home inspector, and perhaps actually already made some of the repairs, right? So, in addition, back when you put the home on the market, you are required, especially in the state of Ohio, to disclose the home's material defects. So there is a form called a residential property disclosure form in Ohio. It's about 4 or 5 pages front and back. It is required. It's a state law that this be done. I do not fill it out for you. I can help answer some vague questions that you as a seller may have. But these are required, and we have to be truthful and honest on them. That's the name of the game, right? We have to ethically do our jobs, both as mine as a licensee, a realtor, and also yours as a seller. So, so what are these things that we could be talking about? Any material defects like foundation cracks, roof leaks, basement flooding, or termite infestation. I mean, the visual stuff, right? If I see the stair stepping in cinder block in a basement, I know that there's probably some settlement going on, or settling had occurred. Or if I see the repairs with the Kevlar belt, stuff like that. Visually I see that. So if I don't see that on your property disclosure report, I'm going to tell you that it needs to go on there. And I'm also going to tell you I have a duty to disclose to any buyer's agents that want to show the house, because we all do business the same. We will call, hey, Brian, can I show this property on 123 Franklin Street? Yeah, you sure can. Yeah, it's open. Okay, Brian, what's going on with it? Are there any issues? Well, if I know they're stair stepping, first thing I have to tell them, sorry about that. First thing I have to tell them is, yeah, we got some foundation stuff going on. So we do have a duty to disclose. So, we're talking about, like I said, foundation cracks, roof leaks, basement floodings, termite infestation. My house right now, we had termites. The termite inspector that came out said there are 2 types of houses, ones that have had them and ones that will have them. And I'm learning to believe that. So, having termites is not a big turnoff. We brought in a contractor, made sure that we did not have any structural damage. Fortunately, we did not. And we treat them with the bait stations around the house, or buried in the ground around the house. So the way I see it, when or if we ever do sell our home, I can say I'm ahead of the game. Yep, we had them, and we have not had them since. Home inspector can do their thing and check the wood for the tunnels, and check our drywall in the basement for tunnels, stuff like that, right? So what does a home inspection cover? So it depends on the home, obviously. So we can get into the weeds with plumbing inspections, electrical, kitchen appliances, heating, ventilating, and air conditioning or HVAC, doors and windows, attic insulation, foundation and basement, exterior. Like I mentioned earlier, we're talking about siding, paint, outdoor light fixtures, and the grounds themselves. Also, sometimes if you live in a rural area, we definitely will be having to do a septic inspection. That's done by the county health department. Home inspectors can do those, but I really prefer to do the county health department. I've had 2 septic systems fail during this home inspection process. The deals were kept alive because we negotiated with the buyers, and we met in the middle on some price adjustments from their original offer to purchase. So we were able to close on those 2 deals. Just a little more to get through. Also, there might be a radon inspection. Like I mentioned, also termite inspections. Mold inspection, lead-based paint inspection, if you feel that there are possible ceiling tiles that have asbestos or asbestos siding or possibly asbestos fabric wrapped around your heating system. Certainly those are tests also that a buyer can do. So what do we need to fix? So the report is by no means a to-do list of everything that we need to address, right? Many of the home repairs include cosmetic issues and normal wear and tear. Those are negotiable. But after home inspection, sellers are typically required to deal with three occasionally overlapping types of repairs: structural defects, safety issues, and building code violations. So those three are the big three that we need to make sure that we want to repair. Now, sometimes with these, especially with a conventional loan, if the lender agrees with it, or if it's a cash deal, if we can negotiate that, we meet in the middle on these things. And I've been a seller's agent for some homes that, were in some disrepair and were just needed to be sold. And, we had a cash deal, and the cash buyer, quite frankly, was not too concerned about those defects. We were very clear that we disclosed everything to them. So on our side, we were good, and they made an informed decision to buy the property like it was, or as is what you'll see sometimes, right? So here's a checklist to prepare your home for a home inspection. So assemble your paperwork. Transparency is key. We want to be ahead of the curve. We want to be above par when these buyers come to the table. Transparency is the name of the game. All right. So ideally, you'll have summaries or invoices for renovations of maintenance or repairs that you've done on your home that you can provide to the home buyer. Collect this documentation in a file and share it with the buyer. I have had some buyers do this and, kept all of the maintenance records, everything. So what I did is I just created a buyer's packet and stapled, the packet together, left it at the folks' home. So the buyers and their buyer's agents, when they come in, would have that at hand. I can also put it on the MLS system. Make sure your home's squeaky clean, right? Your home should be pristine when the inspector arrives. A good first impression will set a positive tone. So declutter it, please. Deep clean the whole house, please, right? A deep clean, so like cleaning the range hood and upholstery and sanitizing garbage cans, averages $200 to $400 depending on the size and condition of the home. I would do this myself. I have been in some terrible houses that went up for sale. It's not the listing agent's fault either, because I am pretty confident that we all are really good at our job and give good advice. So, and I have listed some as well where sellers just did not follow, maybe this checklist. I always, when I have a seller's agent and after it's shown, I will blow up a buyer's agent phone because I want to have some information back, right? And, some of that is, what do you think of the price? What did the sellers or your buyers think of, any strange odors in the home and things like that? Because I have to have that information. The feedback is very important. Remove any obstacles that may block the inspector's access. Take measures to ensure the inspector can easily access all facets of the property, including the attic, electrical panels, attic space, and fireplace. This may require temporarily moving clothing and other items that impede access. Sometimes attic access panels are in closets, Lord knows where. If you have a house that has a crawl space and you have an access panel or hatch to that crawl space, make sure that it's unlocked, and maybe even help them out a little bit by just pulling that, away from the foundation so that they can easily find it. Okay. Fix minor problems ahead of times. I've already said this. Many cosmetic issues, say a broken light fixture or a scratch on the wall, are minor, and please fix it. Attention to detail goes a long way. Buyers will notice things like that. If we have walls that are dinged, if there are gouges in the wall, or if there's a hole in the wall, it's going to telegraph to me as a buyer's agent, hey, let's be a little more cautious in this Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, because, quite possibly there might be some deferred maintenance, right? Do your own inspection before the inspection. I've already mentioned that. It gives you time to fix any deal breakers. Pre-inspection costs money, typically $350 to $500, according to Realtor magazine. But look at what it can save you in the long run, right? Maybe a quicker and cleaner deal. Now, look, just because you do a home inspection doesn't mean they're not going to find something wrong, because I guarantee they're going to. It also is fewer surprises. It helps us market your home. As I said earlier, I can attach all of this information together and make a listing packet. It looks really great to buyer prospects. And like I said, also, it speeds up the negotiation process. So if you discover any material defects in the property during a pre-listing inspection, again, you are legally required to disclose them to buyers. Even if you fix them, we still have to tell them, hey, yeah, there was a little structural foundation issue. We had some settling. If you go down in the basement, you can see where it's at, because you can see the steel beams, or you can see, the straps running around the block wall now that are holding that stuff. Okay, you have to tell them. There's no way around it. It's all transparency. I will make you tell them. Sometimes I won't take a listing if a seller is hesitant in wanting to disclose these things, because it's also my reputation, and I don't want to be sued. Neither does my broker. So here are some tactics for negotiating repairs. We've talked about this one already. Agree to make the reasonable repairs. So unless your house is flawless, which none ever are, like it says here, reality is no one's house is, prepare to receive repair requests from the buyer. You do not have to offer to fix everything the buyer asks of you, but take responsibility for major issues. If I get a laundry list of things from a buyer's agent, I'm sending them over to the seller, my clients, and I'm going to tell them, don't get worried about this right now. I'm giving you the list. Let's look through these things, and I'll circle back to the buyer's agent, and I'm going to ask them so you tell me what the feel good fixes are here, and let's focus on those. So we try to weed out a long list, because sometimes buyers will send a laundry list over to the sellers. Typically, we're able to whittle those down and get to the rabbit hole and get the deal closed. Okay. Offer closing credit. So if you, like I said earlier, also, if you do not want the hassle of making the repairs, ask your agent to offer the buyer a credit at closing for the estimated costs. That's something that's doable. Barter. Yeah, I'm not going to really help you barter. I don't even know why that's in there. That's sketchy to me. And I'm going to advise that there's no bartering. I'm not saying we can't do it. Like this says, if they love the new couch or bedroom set, you could offer to leave it in exchange for making fewer repairs. I don't even know how I would write that up in a contract, or if that's even doable. So, and also leverage the market. So we may have more negotiating power depending on where we live. So if it's a hot seller's market, for instance, we might be in the position to offer the buyer fewer repairs, especially if you have another buyer eager to make an offer. Even more so if we have a backup offer that's waiting for us as well, right? So there are a lot of things to talk about. So listen, again, this is Brian Kapple. I'm with the Athens Real Estate Company. If you have any questions at all on real estate activity in Southeast Ohio, I cover the entire Southeast Ohio region. I actually have some of the July reports pulled up for Meigs, Athens, and Washington County. So I'm going to be doing some small videos on those soon. So if you have any questions on the market, if you're wanting to buy or sell, have questions about that process, feel free to reach out. My number is 740-629-2513. And you know what? I think that if I don't know the answers to your questions, I am definitely going to be able to find the answers to your questions, because our brokerage has many, many, many years of experience behind it. So, hey, everybody, thanks a lot. It's Labor Day weekend, so I hope you all have a safe last holiday of the summer, and we'll be talking soon. Thanks. Bye.